Felt as if I was shattering myself again, going in circles, hunting for the 17 reasons. I've had a number of questions, I've had a number of answers, a number of things to say, I had a number of methods, I had a number of materials, I had a number of items. It'd be easy to simply walk the street imagining that some vernacular psychogeography would be sufficient in and of itself for a critical methodology, some sort of framework. In the same way that one might imagine a relatively arbitrary geographical perimeter could function as a frame for aesthetic practice. But I had begun to doubt such ideas. Had I ever believed them in the first place? It was clear it would not be sufficient to merely burlesque one's own failures, to aestheticize the dead ends, to camp up the impasse of a practice searching for its own methodology. And still, little slivers of visual practice marking property divide lines. In the foreground of gentrification battles, fencing, locks, restriction zones. Was it going to be enough to really cross back and over the steps I'd already taken to foreground a materialist practice, intent on walking and talking, as if unspooling the narrative line would be enough to somehow provide a reading, as if only after the fact might the materials themselves articulate their own hidden codes, as if the curation and collection of those materials weren't already coded, weren't already formed and understood through discursive and linguistic relations. It wasn't a bus, it was a parking meter. It wasn't an avenue, it was an underground. It wasn't a drug deal, it was a kiss. It wasn't a spilled taco, it was vomit. It wasn't a song, it was a protest. It wasn't a getaway, it was a transit. It wasn't a happy hour, it was an escape. $1, one store. beneath the neighborhood, the underlying structures and throughways of economic relations. The hipster kids returning after a day's work to their neighborhood. I'll have a beer in my bar. You have a beer at yours. I went to the agent call box to receive my next message. The site was sliced through with all kinds of parenthetical structures, always surveilled, mapped, understood, corralled. I pulsed through the earth, through the concrete, through the street, through the soil, through the layers, exited out into the street. For every bank, a panhandler. For every input, corrado. For every harvest, a paper cut. For every newspaper, ad revenue. For every immigrant, a phone card. For every trash can, a fresh coat. For every drug deal, an angle. For every palm tree, a zoning code. For every parking lot, a senior citizen. For every storefront, a stairwell. For every stairwell, a back door. For every back door, a sweatshop. For every sweatshop, a fresh jacket. For every fresh jacket, a Pabst Blue Ribbon. For every Pabst Blue Ribbon, a set of lyrics. For every set of lyrics, an internet account. For every internet account, a transnational relation. For every transnational relation, a form of being. For every form of being, a way of seeing. For every way of seeing, an understanding. For every understanding, a new language. For every new language, a migration. For every migration, a palate. For every palate, a fruit and vegetable. For every right turn, a way of thinking. For every way of thinking, a reason. How many reasons? How many ways? I would have to look closer.